we'll see where we go from there. I had some people tweet at me asking if I thought there was any chance that Brock Besser was going back to Vancouver. I don't believe so. Not until at least after July 1st. And I think Besser's going to have some decisions to make too. I think that, I think there'll be I think there will be different options open to him. Different terms. Like some of the teams that are closer to winning might offer shorter term, but they're closer to winning. I've heard this in a few cases, not just Besser's. Other teams that aren't closer to winning but need good players, like Besser, might offer longer term. So there's going to be some options for some of these players. So that's the kind of stuff I'm looking at. But it's just interesting. Like I really think right now the best teams when it comes to older players, like even guys in their 30s, they're trying to stay away from term unless they absolutely have to give it.
Right, and it's a lot of cases, or shouldn't say a lot, but now we're seeing it more and more. It's used to just bring the AAV down a bit.
Yes, but I think some of these teams are not crazy about term. I think they're trying to avoid it a bit. You know what? I mentioned Besser a second ago. I'm curious to see if Vancouver tries to extend Garland. Sometime he can extend on July 1st. That's what I'm curious about too.
All right, that was the final thought brought to you by GMC. We'll take our first break and come back with the Thought Line. You're listening to 32 Thoughts, the podcast. Okay, welcome back. Time now for the Thought Line. Elliot, before we get started, I got to come clean with you about something.
Are you the anonymous caller?
No. Have you heard anything further on that?
No, I did have Dennis Bayak, the great Dennis Bayak, text me to ask me what this was all about.
Did he just hear it secondhand or something?
Yes. He must have missed the anonymous caller buzz.
Yeah. Now, what's all this commotion with this David Amber imposter? Yeah.
He didn't even say that. He just said, what is this anonymous caller stuff?
That's good. That's great that he's asking. Dennis is a good man. Okay, I got to come clean with you. We'll see. We will see. I may have been tagged with photo radar. We'll see. It was close.
Ooh, Leadfoot McGee. I'm proud of you, young.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, if you're looking for the worst thing I've done in my life, I don't know. I'm going to be, the fingers are going to be sweating when I go to check the mailbox here for the next couple of weeks.
Nice. Welcome to the club.
To quote your former employer, check the ticker for the latest on that.
Well, I will, I promise.
Okay, today's submissions. We begin Tyson from Quebec. Hello, King Elliot the 32nd. That's good. Prince Kyle and Dom the Jester.
Oh, that's perfect. I was about to say I'm afraid to meet the first 31, but it got even better.
Yes. This is Tyson writing to you from the noble land of Quebec. I was taking a hot shower with my erect nipples when I thought about Matt Duchene's extension with the Dallas Stars. That's what it says. My question is, with him signing the 4-year, $4.5 million extension, which I believe is a total bargain, I've got a question. Since Duchene was bought out by the Nashville Predators with his original contract averaging around $8 million per year, is he now making the $8 million a year from the buyout plus the $4.5 million this year in Dallas? How does this work? Thanks, love the pod. It was an awesome year, fellas.
Great question, and glad you enjoyed everything. Yes, he makes both. And he makes them both in no-tax states, too.
All right, yeah.
Tennessee and Texas, yes. So add up the salaries. He makes both together. Nashville's cap is on the hook for how much they pay, and Dallas's cap is on the hook for how much they pay.
Yes, and next season it will be $4.5 million that the Predators will be on the hook for, the same amount that he'll be getting AAV-wise at least on the first year of his new contract with the Dallas Stars. Thank you for the question, Tyson. A voicemail is next. Ryan from Ottawa.
Hello, this is anonymous. Sorry, had a frog in my throat. This is Ryan from Ottawa. I had a question about what poor guy has the distinction of being the ultimate runner-up and has lost the most Stanley Cup finals. I know Corey Perry, unfortunately, has suffered through 5 of the last 6, but I was wondering, is he the actual leader? Also, I'm pretty sure Anonymous is Paul Bissonnette. Thanks, guys. Been a great season. Have a good summer.
Really? Paul Bissonnette?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, there's no bad answer at this point. It's not like we've got any hot tips lately.
Yeah, this one slowed down a bit. We'll see what happens. I kind of want it, if anything happens, I want it to happen organically.
Good. We love the organics on this pod.
Yes, we do love organics. So I would have to think, Kyle, that the true leader of this would have to be somebody who played in the original 6 era.
You would be correct.
And I'll tell you this, there's 3 names that jump to me immediately. All Hall of Famers. Is it a Hall of Famer?
Yep.
The 3 guys I think of are Gordie Howe, Bobby Hull, and Stan Mikita.
Okay. Gordie Howe has lost the most Stanley Cup final series in NHL history. 7. He's won 4, lost 7. 11 trips to the Cup final.
Wow.
Stan Mikita's not in the top of this list. Who's got him? Bobby Hull?
Bobby Hull.
Nope, not Bobby. Glenn Hall, though.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
He is one of 3 guys that are 1-6 in Cup finals. Corey Perry's 1-5.
Glenn Hall only won 1 Stanley Cup in 1961. Wow.
So him,
I guess
Busher
that makes
Jackson.
sense. I wouldn't have thought. Busher Jackson. That's a bit before my time. That's the 30s.
And Red Horner.
Also the 30s.
All original 6. But those are, along with Bert Olmsted,
Hall of Famer.
4 guys that have lost
like 10, 15 years ago, nobody wanted to play there.
6.
I know. I'm with you on this one. I'm just trying to explain,
but those are,
or try to anyways, why it would be left off as
along
7
with
ballots.
Bert Olmsted.
Because he should be
I've
there.
handed
You're so
in
right.
terrible ballots
Hall of
before.
Famer.
I've been wrong about
4
plenty of
guys
things
that have
before. I
lost
am not perfect.
6
Far
Stanley Cup
from it.
finals.
I just
Gordie
don't
Howe's
understand
at the
how he
top
can't
with
be on 7 ballots. Like that's
And Corey
that's
Perry
crazy to
is
me.
amongst
That's crazy.
a whole host of
Kyle,
names that have lost 5.
It's all the players.
Is there
bent.
anybody else
The
who
team
is
found a creative
contemporary
way,
or
and
modern,
ownership said, "You
like
need this.
Corey
We'll
Perry
do it
is?
for you."
No.
Bennett,
No, I
like
don't
the
think so.
organization, Zito had to
Close.
bend on Bennett. And
Brian Propp
even though
was
Bennett's a great
0-5.
player, Zito doesn't like to bend on
Brian Propp
anybody.
made 5
But he
Stanley
had to
Cup
bend
finals?
on Bennett
Wow.
$1 million a year.
That's impressive.
because they want him for 8 times
Brian
7,
Propp
8
is
times
pretty,
8. But still,
I mean, he's not
Bennett's
modern
taking
like now,
less.
but that's
No.
80s.
Then you could have gotten
Yeah.
on the open market.
I didn't realize Brian Propp
Ekblad,
made
I always
5
thought that
finals.
would be the
'cause he went
hardest
to
one.
Bruins. That's right.
Like, the
Yeah,
Panthers
wow.
really
Good on
bent
him.
on him. And
Yeah, it's an
they
achievement
got
to
it
get
done.
there.
And Ekblad
So,
also took
yeah,
less than
Corey
he would have
Perry
gotten
does
the
not
open
top this
market.
list.
Although with taxes,
but-
again, we should mention that. But
yeah, who would have thought Gordie Howe?
overall, there was more out there
I mean,
for
it makes
him.
sense. Again, 11 trips
Marchand,
there to
what a
the
crazy deal. Like,
final.
I got to
Won
tell
4 of
you,
them.
there were other teams low-key in the league that were
But I wonder
furious
how many
at this
of those
contract. They were like,
7
how
losses,
can the NHL approve
how many of
a
those games
6-year
did you go
deal for a
in
37-year-old?
scuttlebutt
Like,
in the local papers
there's
in Detroit?
nobody in the
Legacy
league
game
who's ever had a deal
for
like
Mr.
this
Hockey.
before. And I'm like, hey, man, they approved it.
Maybe not.
I'm the guy who likes to find loopholes in all the fantasy
Less
football
sports
leagues. So
radio back
if
then.
the league
right.
approves it, I
Yeah.
got no problem with
Other
this.
things to worry about.
He's the one guy that probably
when
got
life
in
was a bit
terms of
simpler.
actual cash what
Brian,
he
thank
would
you
have
for the
gotten out there.
yeah,
Like I
clever
think he
voicemail
gets.
and good
He
question.
signed for just
Okay,
under 32
Riley
million.
from
I think he
Goderich.
gets about 30 million or around there.
I have been
if he
thinking
goes out on the
about a
open
moment
market,
that happened
no
a few
problem.
years ago
But
at
he
the draft
accepted
and
like a
can't
different
remember who the
structure,
player
right?
was and where
But
they
I'm not
are playing
surprised.
today.
Like,
Not
if
sure
you
if
had
you
reason
remember,
to stay there,
but the Columbus Blue Jackets selected a
why-
player early in the draft that was
why
a
would you
complete
leave?
shock.
It's a great
And I
place
remember
to
the
go.
guys that were on the panel
You know what?
were
I'll say
scrambling
this
to
too.
find notes and information.
There's a lot of
on this
assumption
said
that Evan
player.
Rodriguez
He
is
was
going
not
to
on
get dealt.
anyone's mock list.
I was told
If
not
you
to
do
assume
remember who
anything.
this
Like
is,
they've got to figure out
is
what
his name,
Kachuk's
and did he
surgical
end up
plan
making
is
it
or recovery
to the
plan is.
NHL?
And as someone
He
said to me,
is in
guys
the NHL
always get hurt
right now. It
Like,
is
and
Yegor
Rodriguez is a
Chinnikov,
really
and I was
popular
on the
player
air when
there.
that happened.
I could see the
And
Panthers
that was
waiting.
one of
Now, of
the
course, I'll say this, and they'll
more
get traded the moment the
ultimate
pod drops. But
bus
I could see the Panthers
driving a
waiting to see
bus
this
over
play out.
someone and then
And
backing
don't
over
assume
the
anyone.
moments I
Jeff
have
Petrie
ever been a part of
gets the
on
Nate Schmidt
television.
job now, right?
So I was on the
First it was the
secondary panel
OEL
with
job,
Mike Fuda.
Then it was the
And
Nate
the
Schmidt job, and
the
now
first panel,
Jeff
I think
Petrie.
it was Merrick.
By the
Sam
way,
Cosentino,
we got a lot of
and I can't
positive
remember who else was
response
there.
to when we talked about
But
Vinny Viola and
it's
servant
Jarmo
leadership.
Kekalainen and Billy
There were a
Searing.
lot of people who
They
reached
get
out
up
and
from the
said that
Blue
really
Jackets
resonated
and they
with them.
select Chinnikov.
And just wanted to say,
20th
I'm glad
overall,
you
21st overall
found something in
in the
that. I thought it was
2020
really
draft.
interesting too.
Yes,
And
tremendous.
nobody knows who he is.
Tremendous.
And
if
Sam Cosentino
they ever made
is like,
Evan
I
Rodriguez,
can't remember exactly what it said, but it
available,
was something
2
like,
more
well,
years at
Columbus
3
likes to
per,
throw
boy oh boy,
curveballs
I
at
would
us.
be.
Yeah.
Let's see if
Just-
Mike knows anything
I'm a big
about him.
fan
Like,
of
he
that guy
totally
for a whole
bailed.
host of
He
reasons.
absolutely bailed.
All right, so
Which
the
I guess is
defending
the
champs
smart
try
move.
to
Basically, Sam said
keep
if
that
somebody's
title
gonna
for
look
one
dumb
more
on
year
this
as they
show,
embark
it's not
into
gonna be me.
another off
So he
season
throws
of
up to Mike,
celebrating.
and
The
Mike
Montreal
totally
Canadiens,
freezes.
meanwhile,
Like,
so
he
their big
freezes.
swing and landing Noah
And he has
Dobson,
no
extending
idea.
him
And
along
I
with
had,
that.
like, no
Then the
idea.
trade for
Because I'm
Zach
not a draft
Bolduc.
guy. And I
You know,
remember the
they
best
give up
thing
Logan
about it
Mailloux. There's a
was
team that's got a lot of
that
bodies on the
at the
blue lines.
time,
There was a surplus there to be able to
Chinnikov
make
had
that.
been playing
With
in
all of
Russia,
that said, though, Elliot, like
and
it
the
felt
guy
like
who knew him
this
was Bob
is a
Hartley.
team with Kent Hughes that they
And,
didn't get too excited
Bob
about getting
Hartley,
into
we
the
interviewed him
playoffs
later,
last year
and
and
he
start
told us
handing out a
he
ton of
saw
money
that, and he
left,
was
right, and center.
laughing his head
Martin
off
St. Louis loves to
because
use the
how
word
stuck we
calculated,
were, and this
though
was
they
actually a player
did
he
make some
knew.
additions that you think
And
could
he
help
talked
them in
up
a
Chinnikov
real
and said
big
that
way
Chinnikov
here
was a really
right
good
away.
player.
It's felt
And he's now a
very,
member of the
very
Blue Jackets.
calculated
He's had
as they've
7
gone
goals
about all
last
this.
year. He had 16 goals
Yes,
the year
I would
before.
agree with that.
He's got
like there's,
I think 70 points.
I wrote
in,
this
like, just
earlier,
under
but I don't
200
think there was a
games.
GM who was more aggressive out
and,
there than
he's a
Kent
player.
Hughes.
He
And
absolutely
I don't know
is a
that
player.
anybody
I remember
expected
that
it would
very
be
well.
Noah Dobson. That would be the guy
Goodness,
that he
yes, me
would
too.
swing it
That
on.
was-
I think a lot
that
of
was
people
just
wondered if it would be
good
a
TV.
forward.
I mean, it was just
But
a
Noah
strange
Dobson
time
wanted to be there, and
back
talent
then.
is talent,
Anyway,
right?
it was a good little bit of
So
levity.
he got it done.
That was a fun night on the internet.
And in this
people
NHL, you
on
can
social
never have
media had a
enough
really good
offense
time
from your
with it in a
defense.
fun way.
Like they
would-
get Dobson
like
done.
sometimes
I'll tell you
when
this. I
things
also
that
like the
happen, I feel
Bolduc deal.
badly for guys like Sam. And,
Bolduc is a
first of all,
guy
it
who
almost never
like
happens because these guys do like
he-
Sam and Mike
well,
and
he got a
Jason
bit
Bucco,
wired
they
in
do
the
their
playoffs.
work, right? They
That's
really
when you
know
know
their
it was off
stuff.
the board.
took a couple of really
Yeah, Sam looking at it
undisciplined
going,
penalties that
nope.
kind of
So
hurt
when
the Blues a
your
bit.
draft
But
guys
I look
have
at those as
no
mistakes
idea about a
of
player,
I'm
like,
trying
they
to do
really-
too much and
it's
I'm a
not
little
for
bit
lack of
too excited.
preparation.
Like you can
And
dial a guy
most
down.
people had a lot
I'd
of fun
rather
with it.
try to
I really
calm
like
a
that
wild
about it.
colt than
All right,
motivate
that was the
a
thought
dry
line.
goat.
1-833-311-3232 if you'd like to call and leave a
used that
voicemail
line
like
before.
Ryan from Ottawa
And
did
then
today,
so
or you can
Bolduc
email
to
us
me,
at 32thoughts
I like that pickup. You know what?
Thank you once
Some
again
people were
to
saying,
Griffin
"Oh, he's like a
Porter
third
for
liner."
helping curate
I don't know. I
these
think that guy
lists.
someday
One
could play
final
higher.
break and back
Now
to
you've
wrap
got
on
Slavkovsky up
32
there,
Thoughts,
so I
the
don't know if you're
podcast
ever playing as
after
high
this.
as him. But you know, if you told me the guy could
could play second line, I wouldn't be surprised about you. I like that. I like that pickup for them. I still think they're trying to figure out how long term it's going to look around Demidov, and that's
okay. Welcome back.
that
Before
they would
we
like
go,
to do. Like,
so even
Ken
though
Hughes is the kind of guy like he's never done, right?
Over,
If something pops out, he'll do it.
Seemingly
we'll see.
undefeated,
but look,
an untouchable run that
to
Brad
me,
Marchand
they
has
lost a
been
couple of
with.
really key
He can't miss
depth
content.
guys. Heineman was a
that has
useful
not
forward
stopped.
for them.
I'm sure you have
Dvorak
seen
took a lot of
the
heat
videos, the images
during the year,
from the
but as
elbow
they
room
drove
and
to the playoffs,
along the
he
beaches
played a
of Fort
really
Lauderdale
important
as he
role
and his teammates
as a center
are
on his
well
line.
into enjoying
Armia, I
the
would have liked him to
organization
be
and
more
second straight
consistent,
Stanley
but
Cup
Montreal had the
championship.
9th best penalty
His
kill in the
latest bit of
NHL last
brilliance
year. and
you
Dvorak and
happen to
Armia were
follow
the top
Marshawn
two
on
forwards.
Instagram,
They're going to
his
have to
story
fill those
Thursday
roles.
night, so hopefully
So
you catch
I
it in
look
time
at
before they
this,
disappear.
and Kirby Doc will
It's
come
just
back. You
photo
assume he'll
after
get a
photo
chance to
of his
wrap
Panther
himself right
teammates,
back up there
and
again.
As you know, a lot of them came
I do
via
think
trade.
up front, I could see
Photos of them
Kent Hughes saying,
with thanks,
I can
tagging
do
the teams
more
of where
with
they
this,
came from. So
and
Sam
I would
Bennett,
like to do
thanks.
more
At
with
NHL
this.
Flames.
Okay,
Kachuk,
intriguing start
same
for
deal.
Montreal, and
Reinhart,
still could be
thanks.
more to come
Buffalo
there for
Sabres.
Kent Hughes and company.
And
The
you get
Ottawa
the picture
Senators. So
from there,
after much grinding,
boy.
they get the deal done to bring
just
back
when you think
Claude
surely
Giroux.
he's
They
run out of
sign
good
Lars
content.
Eller.
Nope.
There's the
Marchand
trade with
continues
LA to bring
find
in Jordan Spence
great
on
stuff
the
for
back
people
end.
to
You mentioned that they were a
eat up, and
team
they
that
will
was interested
continue
in Tanner
to do
Jeannot.
so.
How active
as
do
we
you
move
think
forward into
Steve
the
Stales
weekend,
was in
and
terms
as we
of
say
the
now,
things
1
that
week
maybe
away
he
from the
couldn't get
2025
done that he
draft,
tried
next
to
week
get
we'll
done?
start to shift a little bit
I don't
more
know.
of our
Like I
focus
think he
towards that.
had a
We
few
hope to
lines in the
have,
water. I'm not
some
sure that there was anything
draft-related
too crazy
special
out
content
there. Like,
for you on Monday's
it was interesting
pod,
hearing
so
him and
stay tuned
him
on
and
that
Giroux
front.
kind of talk about
And it's
their
the first day of
negotiation.
summer, so hopefully you
They
got some
didn't
sunshine
deny
to
that
enjoy this weekend.
that
We
one got
appreciate you taking some
really
time out of your day
intense.
to listen to us once
And,
again, as you have done all
I,
season long.
someone will tell me
a little
here
bit
if I'm
more to go
wrong.
yet here before
But
we
I heard
officially
that
enter
one of the issues was
off-season
the
mode. Have yourselves a
weighing
great weekend.
of the
We will
team
speak to you
success
again
bonuses
on
and
Monday.
the individual bonuses. Like if you look at like the Taves one, Taves gets like the 10, 20, 30, 40, however many games it is. And then he gets more bonuses the more success Winnipeg has. You look at Dodonov with New Jersey, similar. He gets some games played bonuses and then success with how well the Devils do. And ideally you want to balance it, right? You want both of those in there. Like I heard that was a real battle. Like Ottawa obviously leaned towards the team bonuses and Giroux was like, sure, but like look at the standard out here. There should be some individual games played bonuses as well. And finally they got there, but like they didn't deny that those were tough negotiations. But it's important.
Yeah.
Like, I think that one of the things is like people put this stuff behind them and they're like, okay, it's done now. Let's play hockey. I didn't